Common Side Effects is a top tier show every animation fan needs to be watching right now. Comprende? I wouldn't be a good YouTuber if I just left it there, so I'm gonna go more in depth about the show and what I love, so spoiler warning, if you haven't seen all 5 episodes that are out,
stop yapping and talk about the show already.
Alright bro, damn. Today, we're gonna be talking about Adult Swim's best new cartoon, Common Side Effects.
She tried to call me yesterday, but I didn't pick up, cause I don't got time. I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. Do whatever you want, I don't care, don't even tell me.
So we start off with our boy Marshall at some sort of conference for a medicine company called Ryudacal. I think I'm saying that right. And he's asking all the big heavy questions to the CEO Rick, who's played by the legendary Mike Judge. If you don't know, he's from King of the Hill. Now Rick's big secret is that he don't know what the fuck is going on. He don't know what the fuck he's talking about. So he just avoids all the questions and kicks Marshall out. Now we enter Frances. She's Rick's assistant and she's the person who basically carries Ryudacal on her back because realistically, Rick don't do shit. All he do is fucking play Marvel Snap on his phone. Do y'all play Marvel Snap? So Frances is Marshall's lab partner back in high school, so she catches up with him to reminisce and catch up. Of course, that's after taking off all her Ryudacal gear, because Marshall likes Ryudacal as much as a 12-year-old in 2020 like showers, which is not a lot. Frances chats with Marshall and tells him about the state her mom is in, which is pretty bad. It's then that Marshall makes the decision to tell her about his big secret. A mushroom that can cure anything, even death. Now, why he'd show something that big to someone he hasn't seen in fucking years, I don't know. It's kind of dumb, because due to him having the cure for all illnesses, the government wants him gone, because it would single-handedly just delete all medical practices across the world and people would just be looped. You know what I mean? So that basically means that Marshall has people coming after him from every fucking angle. And he doesn't know who to trust, so him trusting Frances with his big ass secret was risky, but it paid off. Marshall shows her the mushroom's abilities by killing a bird and reviving it. That shit's fucking hardcore. I mean, goddamn. And Frances is pretty much convinced, so they decide to meet up in a coffee shop and talk about it more. And Frances gets a call from Rick, so she has to step outside. Not gonna lie, bro. Marshall, he realizes he's being like fucking monitored by everybody in the room, and holy shit, he has to just jet out of there, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. If some niggas was after me and I had to worry about little Johnny from 2nd Street being a CIA agent, man. Shit. So Rick's company is on the verge of failing, so Frances decides that the plant Marshall works on could be a business venture for the company to save it. Also, a quick note from episode 1, a duo by the name of Agent Harrington and Agent Capano are tasked with finding and taking down Marshall under the guise of him being a drug dealer and making illegal drugs. Also him being a serial killer in Peru, which is where he found the plant. And totally unimportant turtle friend he named Socrates. Not important at all. Marshall remains on the run and tries to get in contact with Frances, but can't catch her due to all the heat on him. He manages to deliver some of the plant to the nursing home Frances' mother was in and tells her to give it to her holy shit, dog. Gives it to her to see if it could heal her. That's what I was trying to say. Cutting back to Marshall, he's being pursued by some government agents, but like they're not really government. They're more like illegal enforcements because they're fucking assassins basically. Marshall just can't fucking move. He's in a car, right? And he gets hit with the craziest combo I've ever seen. I fucking swear. So a nigga walks up in the street and he's just sitting there doing shit, right? He just sitting there, and Marshall honks at him, right? And he's just sitting there. He's just fucking sitting there. And then from the left, a fucking nigga in the fucking truck He's about to just fucking ram in his shit. Pause. He just straight up just hits him from the side. Crazy shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If some niggas doing some shit like that to me on the daily, I'm not ever leaving the house again. You can call it pussy, but shit, Marshall a better man than me.
Pussy.
Marshall pops a mushroom before he fucking dies and basically revives himself as soon as he dies, and he gets away. Now, this is where Marshall's supply starts to run low, and if he runs out of mushrooms, it's over. Marshall will probably die and the world will be stuck paying for medicine and serious injuries forever. In this episode, Marshall is hard pressed about finding a new way to grow the mushroom because he's gonna run out soon, and he turns to his mentor Hildy, and Hildy gives him a revelation that the place in Peru where he found the mushroom, which was next to a Reutycal waste site. Dog, that's a fucking tongue twister, dude. Reutycal waste site? Come on, you can't tell me you don't have like a bit of a problem saying that. It can't be just me. So apparently the plant was only able to grow because the mushroom was in the waste, and the waste like wasn't stopping the mushroom from growing. It was growing because of it, which was insane reveal. I was not expecting that. And Hildy wants to see how the mushroom like works in person, so she do some crazy shit, bro. She just shoots herself, and you know, Marshall revives her. And after seeing it work, she tries to force Marshall to leave the plant with her. Like, she pulls a fucking gun on him and tries to shoot him, right? But the mag is empty because Marshall, cool ass, then took the bullets out the magazine while she was being revived. Yeah, that was tough as fuck. Now, I've skipped over the agents, but basically throughout the episodes, they try to put together clues about Marshall and where to find him. And another thing is bro, this is kind of crazy. Some homeless guy bumps into Marshall, right? And he plants a spider right on him, but it has cameras in it and they're monitoring him from it. Just imagine, like, that'd be so fucking scary. Imagine nigga bumped into you and he placed a fucking fly drone on your ass, and now they can see all the fucking gooning sessions you get recorded in. Next episode, Marshall finds a place on a nuclear waste site that would allow him to grow the plant, and he runs into this trooper, and he has his eye on him pretty odd. It's pretty odd, like he has his eye on him in a pretty odd way. He gets to work on the plant and he finds no success. Meanwhile, Francis is taking on a trip to Switzerland. Actually, that might have been last episode. Whatever, you probably watched the show anyway. And she's there for work, and she has some fun with her boyfriend, who she obviously doesn't like, and I'm not gonna elaborate. The post-nut clarity gets to bro, and he asks her to get married. Going back to Marshall, his neighbor actually ends up being the trooper and his nephews, and unfortunately for Marshall, his nephews like firing guns at night to kill wildlife for reasons. He also uses proximity mines for them. Remember that. Marshall doesn't like this because obviously he's tired, so he asks him to stop, and basically they don't really get along. Back to Frances, she gets a call from the nursing home, and it's her mom. She's okay now. I say it like that. She's okay now. So Frances drops everything to go back to America to see her mom, and she leaves her little boyfriend in Switzerland, and it's because he wanted to stay. Not because she like didn't tell him or anything. He wanted to stay in Switzerland while she went back. When she gets there, she finds out Marshall sent a letter to her mom, and she uses that to find him. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I ruined the timeline. I'm sorry. That was last episode for sure. Frances pulls up, and Marshall greets them, and they get to talk, and we see a flashback of when they first met. We see little boy Marshall. I actually fuck with his design almost as much as I fuck with Frances. I mean, I was not expecting her to have that much swag when she wasn't working. I mean, Frances and Marshall are chilling till Marshall sees a reflection of a fucking ninja outside. So he goes outside and he investigates, and he gets into a little hidden run fight with the ninja guy sent to kill him. And the ninja steals the trooper's nephew's bike. Probably should have just said his name, huh? And when he stole that shit, bro, that shit was funny as fuck. He did not need to fucking Marco Diaz and shit like that. Marshall ends up getting cornered, and the ninja guy ends up pressing up on him. and he presses him, asks him where the mushrooms are, and he's solid. He not saying shit till Francis gets there and checks out the commotion. And bro was finna take her hostage until he stepped on a proximity mine and got blown the fuck up. Then they just nonchalantly end the episode with some grocery store music. Like they didn't just drop one of the best episodes of the show. So now the trooper wants to know what the fuck just happened. And Marshall explains everything about the plant, and JJ, the trooper, he wants to see it work in live action because his other nephew is sick as fuck, and he makes Marshall use the plant to heal him. Which leaves Marshall with just one plant left. Things could go bad here. He heals him, and now JJ is an ally. But the agents from earlier, they found Marshall and are currently monitoring him. Marshall and Francis work together on the plant, trying to get it to grow. She gives him a different perspective, and she just tells him to grow it in the ground with the turtle from Peru, Socrates, leading the way. This spot, they plant the last plant, but this time they have a secret weapon. Socrates shit. Okay, that was a little crude. Peruvian turtle shit? Shit? It's the secret ingredient to making the plant grow. See? The turtle was important after all. Of course, they don't know this yet. Marshall hears about the agents spying on him from the nephew, and he goes up to them and confronts them from outside of their van and tells them he's not a bad guy, he's not a killer, yada yada yada. And they're pretty much convinced, and they just want to see how things play out. Of course, that's not enough because the feds end up knocking and they capture Marshall because of Francis leaking a video of JJ's nephew getting healed to Rick, who Rick showed to the big bad company guy that, you know, sent the ninja and all the other assassins at Marshall. Which, of course, Francis could not have possibly had the foresight to do that, but hey man, arrest is arrest. So since Marshall gets arrested, he's now depending on Francis to do what needs to be done with the plant, and Francis gives him a well-deserved goodbye kiss. Got my nigga in the cop car cheesing and shit, bro. Happy ass nigga. And honestly, the show is just getting started for real, and I can't wait to see where it'll go. I mean, the concept is really deep. The show story is impeccable, and if you weren't convinced, it's consistently in HBO Max's top 10 series, which is rare for animation in general, but it's even more rare for adult friend. But it's even more rare for an Adult Swim franchise these days. I'm pretty confident if this show doesn't wrap everything up this season, we'll get a season 2, but only time will tell. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, consider clicking on another video I make if you see it in your feed one day. Peace.